I was giving her $800 every week to help with her life. But on her birthday, she laughed and said, "You're just here for the free food, right?" I didn't stay for the cake. 36 hours later, I had 14 voicemails, 3 texts, and someone nervously knocked on my door. I didn't expect a thank you. I didn't expect flowers. But I never thought she'd say that again. Ava said it loud so everyone on the rooftop could hear. She held her shiny glass like she won an award for being mean. People laughed, not nicely, but cruelly. It made me feel awful. I stood there holding a $200 gift I had just wrapped, wondering if anyone knew I paid for everything. Ava, my spoiled cousin who wants to be an influencer, looked at me with that mean smile I knew well. She wasn't just laughing at me, she was trying to erase me. I hoped someone would stop her. Maybe her boyfriend or Aunt Karen. But no one did. No one ever does. Ava kept smiling like this was a joke. Even though I had been sending her $800 every week for 11 months. She quit her job to be a wellness content creator. And I paid her rent, bills, groceries, vet bills, spa days, and even a facial 2 days before this party. I paid for this whole party, the decorations, the music, the fancy cupcakes. And now, I was the joke. Just the cheap cousin with a small gift. Not cool. Not rich. Just a walking ATM. I stood there frozen, cupcake in hand. Her laugh still ringing in my ears. Then I put the cupcake down quietly, like I was ending a deal I never agreed to. I didn't make a scene or say goodbye. I just walked away. No one stopped me. Not even Ava, who once left me 6 voicemails crying because she was scared about a $1,900 phone bill. I paid it that night. That was a month ago. Now she was laughing at me, like I was a fool who didn't see I was being used. I didn't stay for the cake. And I didn't answer my phone the next day or the day after. But after 36 hours, I had 14 voicemails, 3 texts, and a soft knock at my door. The person outside was scared I wouldn't answer. They were right, I had nothing left to give. And a lot to say. It started with one temporary payment. 11 months later, I was paying for her whole life. She never said thank you, only sent me money requests. It began with a call. "Hey, I need help with rent this month," she said. Her voice shaky but sounding real. "Just until I get some brand deals. I'll pay you back next week." That was 47 weeks ago. Spoiler, she never paid me back. Not even $5 for coffee. But I said yes. Why? Maybe because she's family. But really, it was guilt. Guilt is dangerous, especially when everyone says you're lucky. And you should help more. At first, it was just rent. Then groceries. Then surprise dentist bills. Then her dog's surgery. Then she lost her phone and said she had to start over online. She cried. I paid. Every week. $800 or more. I didn't live fancy. I drove an old car. Ate cheap food. Skipped outings with friends to avoid explaining why I couldn't pay. Meanwhile, Ava posted beach pictures, expensive face masks, and videos from $30 yoga classes. I paid for her silence, comfort, and image. The worst part? She acted like it was normal. "You're always so generous," she'd say when I sent money. Not thank you. Not I'll pay you back. Just a compliment for being her personal ATM. The turning point came 6 weeks before the party. She called crying, saying she'd be evicted because her landlord was mean. "It's just temporary," she said. "I'm drowning." So I sent $2,400 all at once. The next day, she posted a spa photo. Caption: "When the universe provides, #abundance mindset." I stared at it a long time. I was the universe. That night, I started tracking every dollar I spent on her. Rent, groceries, beauty treatments, emergency Ubers, hairdresser. Even $89 for gluten-free cupcakes for her dog. By the end of the month, I'd spent over $31,000. I could have bought a car, paid my loans, or traveled. But I built Ava's whole influencer life. And she still called me cheap. That word hurt more than I thought. She said it before, once when I brought beer instead of wine to a family barbecue. "Budget-friendly and boring, classic you," she said. Another time, when I said no to a joint birthday trip. She said, "Don't be so tight." I ignored it. Because she had problems. Because she didn't mean it. Because I was responsible, the one who fixed things. But after the spa post, something broke. The next time she called crying about no Wi-Fi. I paused. "You there?" she asked, defensive. "I'm here," I said slowly. "But I don't know why." She got quiet. "Because you always help," she said. You said you'd always be there. There it was. Not thank you. Not sorry. Just, I deserve this. She didn't see my help as kindness. She thought I owed her this lifestyle. That's when I knew this wasn't helping anymore, it was me being a servant. That week, I didn't send the $800. Next day, 3 missed calls and a text. Hey, did the transfer fail? My landlord is texting me again. I didn't reply. The week after, she Venmo'd me $800 with no message. I declined. 2 hours later, she posted a story. Funny how some people disappear when you really need them. Real ones stay. I laughed. Then came the birthday invite, a fancy Gatsby-themed rooftop party. I didn't want to go but felt I had to because she said, I really need you there, I mean it. So I went with a gift, wearing clean clothes I ironed myself, holding on to what little pride I had, and she mocked me in front of everyone, saying I was just here for the free food. They all laughed. Not one person defended me, not one asked, wait, isn't that the guy who paid for all this? And then she called and texted, begging again because her money stopped flowing. But I didn't answer. This wasn't about money anymore. It was about how much of myself I had given just to be accepted, and I was done. When she showed up at my door crying, I thought maybe she finally got it, but she only pushed harder, and I ended things for good. The knocking came just before midnight. I ignored it the first time, then a softer knock, like she'd lost courage. I knew it was her. I waited. Then, please, I just need to talk, Ava said. Same voice that called me at midnight when her Uber got lost and she didn't want to pay extra. Same voice that begged for rent money. Same voice that called me cheap in front of 30 people while holding the champagne I paid for. I opened the door. There she was, makeup smudged, mascara running, dressed up but tired. Still the same Ava who knew how to look broken enough to get forgiven. I didn't mean what I said, she whispered. I said nothing, just stepped aside. She came in slowly, like a kid about to get scolded. I was drunk. It was a joke. I didn't think. Don't. I cut her off. She blinked. You left, didn't answer. I thought you were mad, but you know I didn't mean it. No, I said, you meant it exactly like that. She tried to speak again, but I stopped waiting for her lies. You called me cheap in front of strangers, people who ate off my money and laughed at me. You never asked me to pay, she snapped, voice cracking. I laughed. You didn't? Let me remind you. I showed her my phone. Venmo screen full of payments, $800 here, $100 there, $1,200 once. Even $36 for sushi because her card didn't work. You didn't ask, you begged, you cried, you guilt me. When I stopped, you humiliated me. She crossed her arms, defensive. Why make this a big deal? You make enough money, what's a few thousand? That broke something in me. I took a breath. Yes, I make enough, but for 11 months, I lived like a ghost so you could live your fake life. I ate cheap food so you could post fancy meals. I skipped therapy because I paid your rent. I suffered so you could breathe your eucalyptus-scented yoga studio air. Tears filled her eyes. I didn't know. No, I said, you didn't care. Silence, then her last move. I'm family, you said you'd always help. That old manipulation. I said I'd help. I said, I didn't say I'd disappear for you. She looked down, then said, so what? You're cutting me off forever? After everything? What everything? I asked. You drained me dry and laughed at me. I said, you acted like I didn't exist unless a bill was due. Drama, she said. Good, I said, stepping closer. Maybe I finally match your energy. That hit her. She stepped back. Now you think you're better? No, I said coldly. I just see who you really are. She tried to speak, but I kept going. You humiliated me in front of a crowd, the one person who's been there since day one, and now you're here crying, hoping I'll fold again. She swallowed hard. I just need help this month. Rent's late. No, I said, sharp. She looked shocked. I opened the door. You're not my responsibility anymore. Her lips shook. But I have no one else. You had me, I said, and you laughed me out of your life. She stood for a moment, hurt, angry, then grabbed her purse and stormed out, muttering. I locked the door, turned my phone off. No more money, no more requests, no more pretending being used means love. Cutting her off wasn't guilt, it was freedom. The silence was strange, no Venmo, no late-night cries, no texts. For the first time in almost a year, my phone was quiet. I thought I'd feel guilty, but I didn't. I felt relief, sharp, electric, overwhelming relief, like bricks were lifted off my chest. I cleaned my apartment, paid my bills, bought groceries just for me, and booked a therapy session I'd put off for months. Still, no word from her, her mom, or anyone in her fake, demanding circle. Then day 8, it started. First, a repost, cutting people off doesn't make you strong, it makes you heartless. Then a story, her crying, mascara smudged, wrapped in a blanket, captioned, "Some people only love you when you're useful." I rolled my eyes. Then a text, "Ava, I'm not going to beg, but I'm hurting and thought we were better than this." No reply. Next day, "Ava, please let me explain. I need this to make sense. I can come talk." Still no reply. Then things got worse. That Saturday, I saw her mom in the grocery line. "Oh, you're alive," she said coldly, loud enough for others to hear. Ava said, "You've been distant." I just nodded, paid, and left. By Sunday, Ava's tone changed completely. "Ava, I know I messed up. I didn't mean to hurt you. I panicked. Everyone was watching. I tried to be funny. It was a joke. You matter to me. Please don't hate me." I stared at my phone for a full minute. Then I did something I hadn't done since all this started. I put my phone down and went outside. I took a walk, got a coffee, sat in the park with a book, and for the first time, I didn't feel the heavy weight of someone else's panic on me. I wasn't the fixer anymore. But Ava didn't stop. She kept texting, and texting, then she called. She left a voicemail that began calm but ended with her crying. It wasn't about rent or the party anymore. It was about control. She felt like she was losing it, and she was falling apart. The next evening, she tried one last time. She showed up at my door, with her boyfriend, Braxton or Brandon or some Pinterest name I didn't care to remember, the same guy who laughed at her joke and watched me leave the party like I was nothing. He stood there with his hands in his pockets, eyes looking down. "We just want to talk," Ava said softly. I didn't open the door all the way. "You already did," I said, "at your party, in front of 30 people. I didn't mean it." "You meant every word," I said, "and I meant mine. I'm done." Braxton looked up. "Look, man, she's not okay. She hasn't slept. She's falling apart." I raised my eyebrows. "Did she cry this much when she called me cheap, in front of you?" No answer. I kept going. "You two have each other. She can fix this, or not, but I'm done being the bad guy in a story where I'm the only one hurting to keep someone else warm." Then I closed the door. Not slammed, not shouted. Just closed it. Because that's what setting boundaries sounds like. Later, I threw away the gift I brought to her party, the one she never even opened. It felt like throwing away proof of a scam I never agreed to. And you know what? I didn't feel guilty. I felt clean. Final update. I posted my story online, not to get sympathy, just to breathe. A week after I closed the door on Ava for good, I did something I never thought I would. I posted everything on Reddit, anonymous, under a throwaway account. Title: I paid my cousin $800 a week for 11 months. She called me cheap at her birthday party. I left without a word. No hashtags, no edits, just the truth. The post blew up in hours, tens of thousands of upvotes, thousands of comments. People picked apart every sentence like it was some dramatic show. I didn't expect that. I didn't even know why I posted it. Maybe I just needed to say it out loud, to see if I was crazy, or if she really was. Reddit didn't hold back. Some top comments were harsh. "She's not your cousin, she's been using you for months. You did the right thing cutting her off. I'd have thrown the cupcake at her face. $800 a week? I'd cut off my own brother for half that insult." But then came the hard questions. Why did you help her so long? What did you get out of it? Were you in love or something? This sounds more than cousin stuff. Were you trying to buy her love? And the worst one, why did you think you deserved to be treated like that? That one hit me. They were right. I wasn't just being kind. I wanted something I never had growing up, to belong. Ava was always the star, the golden girl. I was the quiet, boring cousin with extra pencils. Helping her made me feel needed. And when you grow up invisible, feeling needed can feel like love. But it wasn't love. It was dependency, being used, dressed up like something nice. Once I saw that, I couldn't unsee it. So I posted an update. I read your comments, good, bad, crazy, and here's the truth. I helped her because I wanted to believe someone could need me and still love me. But love doesn't demand silence. Love doesn't humiliate you in front of people. Love doesn't treat your kindness like a debt. No, I wasn't in love with her. I just wanted to matter. And now, for the first time, I matter to myself. That comment got 40,000 upvotes in one day. People started quoting it, messaging me, sharing their own stories. This made me cry at work. I just stopped auto-paying my sister. "Thanks, you helped me leave my toxic home." Of course, not everyone was nice. "You're just bitter. This sounds like someone who wants attention." Maybe. But if being the main character in my own life makes me bitter, fine. I was an extra in everyone else's story for too long. Now? I don't send money out of guilt. I don't answer late-night crying calls. I don't live waiting for my phone to ring with just a little help. I take walks. I cook for one. I sleep. Then Ava texted again. I miss how we used to be, before all this. I didn't answer. Because all this is the first time in my life I felt peace. Do I forgive her? I don't know. Some days, yes. Some days, I remember how she called me cheap after I held her up for almost a year. And I realize, she didn't just take my money. She tried to take my dignity. And that's the last thing I'll ever lend anyone again. So here I am, writing this, watching strangers read my life. Some cheer. Some cringe. Some don't believe me. Some see themselves. Maybe that's why I shared it. Because if someone out there is being used, quietly smiling while drowning, wondering if they're crazy for finally saying no, maybe this will help them breathe. Or maybe not. I don't know the answers. But I do wonder. If someone only loves you when you're useful, did they ever really love you at all?